While some people may have a fear of heights, this group of individuals makes a career out of falling from the sky. I'm Kelsey Briggs, and I'm here to give you an inside look at this Special Operations team.
An arena near you has made big events possible in the past year. I'm Maggie Burke.
I'm Caitlin Seiler, and this week I'm going to tell you all you need to know before you get the COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm Destiny Adams, and this week on News OSU, I'll be taking you to Boone Pickens Stadium, where we'll see where graduating seniors are graduating this semester. Hello, and welcome to News OSU for March 23rd, 2021. I'm Destiny Adams, and thank you for joining us. This week, one of our reporters jumped out of a plane. We're also investigating the rumors floating around concerning the COVID-19 vaccine, bringing you news about graduation at OSU, and looking at how a local arena was able to keep big events happening during the pandemic. The Oklahoma State Army Reserve Officers Training Corps invited a unique group to campus last week. The group can be found nearly 2.5 miles in the sky. Kelsey Briggs gives us an inside look at a U.S. Army Special Operations team.
These individuals may seem like normal skydivers, but if you take a closer look,
Army Rangers, Green Berets, Civil Affairs, PSYOPs, and then some helicopter and support units.
They are a part of an elite group called the Black Daggers, the official U.S. Army Special Operations Command Parachute Demonstration Team.
I had the honor to jump with the group.
With a few safety lessons and a quick change of clothes, we boarded the plane and prepared to jump. 13,000 feet later, we were in free fall, and before I knew it, we were back safe on the ground. The group was invited by the Oklahoma State Army Reserve Officers Training Corps to kick off the NCAA cross-country championships here in Stillwater.
Throughout our career, we have a thing called a brought-in assignment. So when you're not on an operational team, whether you be like, say, a Navy SEAL on a SEAL team, as a Green Beret, we have things called ODAs, which stands for an Operational Attachment Alpha.
Tremblay says it's a requirement to do a brought-in assignment. Other individuals like Sean O'Toole says the group helps advance his love of skydiving.
Joined the Army and signed up to be a parachute technician, so I sewed parachutes. Well, then to prove that they worked, I had to learn how to jump parachutes. And it was so much fun, I started just doing more and more and advancing myself any way I could.
The Black Daggers are composed of 19 individuals who travel across the U.S. in order to perform live aerial demonstrations in support of the U.S. Army Special Operations. Jumping from a plane at 120 miles per hour feels like the fall of a lifetime for most people. But for the Black Daggers, it's just another day in the office. Kelsey Briggs, News OSU.
COVID-19 vaccines are now available to all OSU students, and many are concerned about the rumors going around about the harmful side effects that the vaccine could have. Caitlin Seiler has more.
Oklahoma is now in phase 3 of the COVID-19 vaccination plan, and that means Oklahoma State students are now eligible to receive the vaccine. Students and faculty can schedule an appointment to receive the Pfizer vaccine, a 2-dose vaccine taken 3 weeks apart. In order to get the COVID-19 vaccine, all students need to do is log into their university health portal. Once they're logged in, they can select an available date and time. Once they pick the date and time of their choosing, students will come right here to the vaccine pod at University Health Services. However, with the rapid production of the vaccine comes the circulation of rumors regarding side effects and potential health risks. UHS Associate Director of Clinical Operations Pamela Stokes says that what you may think is a bad reaction to the vaccine is actually normal.
So after you get the vaccine, a lot of people report that their arm is sore and they have fever, they feel really bad. They may have shakes and chills, anything like that that's within about 12 to 24 hours after the vaccine means that you're having an immune response.
Student clinical worker Carol Quijada says she has administered the vaccine to hundreds of students and has yet to see any adverse side effects.
Of course, there is always some sort of caution, but we do have physicians that are available administrating the vaccines that are there to answer any questions.
For more information on the vaccine or to schedule an appointment, go to uhs.okstate.edu or call 405-744-7665. For News OSU, I'm Caitlin Seiler.
As COVID vaccines get distributed to the students, the university is striving to get everything back to normal. That starts with graduation. I took a closer look at how OSU is making graduation happen this semester. It's been 2 semesters since Oklahoma State University has held an in-person graduation ceremony due to COVID-19. March 9th, OSU announced spring commencement ceremonies will be held May 7th and 8th in person. According to Oak Holly Archives, tracing back to 2006, graduation ceremonies are usually held at Gallagher-Iba Arena, but this time it will be held on the other side of the athletic facility at Boone Pickens Stadium. Fall 2019 was the last in-person graduation ceremony OSU held before the virus hit Oklahoma and reached Stillwater. Each time virtual ceremonies were announced, the last 2 semesters, the university made a promise to invite graduates back for a formal in-person occasion.
I'm excited for graduation being Boone Pickens because I think it's a great way to keep people safe and make sure that, as a precautionary measure, people are spaced out, but also a way to celebrate the ceremony.
Every graduate will be allowed to invite up to 8 guests.
I think that given the year that we've had, 8 tickets is really fair. I'm really looking forward to being able to bring out my family and kind of share Stillwater with them and share this moment with them.
To maintain CDC guidelines, there's a list of protocols for the ceremony that can be found at register.okstate.edu/commencement/. This includes a list for seniors to register for commencement before April 16th and a shopping space to order caps and gowns. For News OSU, I'm Destiny Adams. While most aspects of OSU are getting back to normal, some things on campus are changing more permanently. The ticket office for athletics has made some changes to how tickets to athletic events work and has been cracking down on trading of tickets, which mainly affects students with an all-sports pass. This has sparked some frustration from students as a petition has been started to find some middle ground to keep the seats full at Cowboy Athletics.
Where you can't get a ticket, right? And if somebody you know has got a ticket, they can't give it to you because if they don't want to go. And that's an empty seat. And we don't want that, especially when we're playing OU or playing Kansas in basketball or playing Texas in football. We don't want that, So that's why one of the reasons why I started that petition. And that's where we're at right now. We're talking to different individuals, talking to Student Government Association, trying to get some legislation, some official approval passed to show in the university that we have a voice on this campus, and we're trying to make sure and have our voices heard.
You can support this petition by going to Garrison's Twitter at GarrisonAllen4 or go to change.org. Over the past year, large events have been canceled and postponed all over the world. However, one place just 45 minutes from Stillwater has made it possible to keep some large events in place and provided somewhere for other events to move to.
I'm here at the Lazy E Arena where they have been able to host around 35 events since June of 2020, despite being in a pandemic. The Lazy E Arena is home to world-famous Western sporting events and more. When COVID-19 spread across Oklahoma, their spring plans took a hit. However, professional bull riding reached out and made it possible to do televised bull riding through April and May. In July, they began hosting events with spectators again. This made possible by finding new cleaning supplies and sanitation methods, as well as social distancing.
Because of a lot of the HVAC, which is our heat and air, we were able to pump in a lot of fresh air. But for the most part, you can't get very close to each other on a horse.
Some of the events that the Lazy E holds were not able to come throughout the year, but they hosted numerous outside competitions and shows that could not be held elsewhere. This included the National High School Finals Rodeo. They made it possible for students who competed for a year to qualify for nationals able to compete.
It was kind of a bummer, I thought, man, I'm not going to get to go to nationals my senior year. And they gave me a place to go, finish out my high school career.
Events at the Lazy E also benefited the economy in Guthrie and surrounding cities by bringing people in from all over the country while everybody else stayed at home.
We got a lot of thank yous from a lot of local businesses that said had it not been for you, we would have shut our doors.
Despite bringing in thousands of people throughout the year, no major boosts in numbers of COVID-19 were reported. For News OSU, I'm Maggie Burke.
Four months ago, Cade Cunningham played his first game for the Oklahoma State men's basketball team, and now his collegiate career has come to an end. The 4th-seeded Cowboys fell to Oregon State 80-70 in the second round of the NCAA tournament on Sunday. Oregon State poked holes in the Cowboys' game plan for all 40 minutes. Oklahoma State looked clunky at times and seemed like they just didn't know what to do, especially in the rebounding department. Caleb Boone, who stands 6'9", was matched up against a 7'1" center in Roman Silva, who also had about 50 pounds on him. There's no way Boone was going to win that battle, and he was exposed. Boone grabbed 0 boards compared to Silva's 12. As a whole, the Beavers out-rebounded the Cowboys 52-32. But what was worse than the Cowboys rebounding was their shooting and shot defense. Let's start with their defense against Maurice Clue. And I know what you're thinking. That name sounds familiar, right? Well, Clue was with the Cowboys 2 years ago, but was dismissed from the team. Clue averaged around 5 points per game before facing his former team and put up a whopping 15 points against the Cowboys. A glorified end-of-the-bench player dominated the Cowboys in all of his 26 minutes of game time. The Beavers led in every shooting stat, and it wasn't even close. Oklahoma State shot 27.7% from the floor, which was its worst of the season. Cunningham still had a good game as he scored 24 points, but that came off of 6 for 20 shooting. And in the end, he just didn't seem like he wanted the ball. Though his career didn't end how he wanted, Cunningham says playing for the Cowboys was a special moment.
You know, I think the biggest thing is I surrounded myself around great people more than anything. That's the thing I'm most proud of. And that's the thing that, you know, I feel like I've grown the most by just being around good people that, you know, push me to be somebody good on the court and off the court.
The Cowboys were one of only 2 teams with a 4 seed to make it to the second round of March Madness. Some fans weren't too happy with the Cowboys seeding to begin with. In this week's I'm Just Saying, David Moore discusses the selection committee's decision with the Cowboys seed placement.
Out of the Big 12, the number 4 seed in the Midwest, Oklahoma State. The Cowboys, they're first, the number 4 seed, the number 4 seed, 4 seed, 4 seed.
What? No, dude!
Yeah, that was the reaction Oklahoma State basketball fans had after learning that their team would be the 4 seed in the Midwest region. And that anger was only intensified when they learned that Big 12 rival West Virginia was given the 3 seed in that same region. Now, a look at the season's results might explain some of that anger.
OSU's remarkable run prior to March Madness included 6 wins against top teams in the nation. 2 of those wins came against West Virginia, with the victory in Morgantown not featuring star players Cade Cunningham or Isaac Likely. The Mountaineers, on the other hand, stumbled into March, losing 3 of their last 4. So how exactly did West Virginia leapfrog the Cowboys in seeding? The NCAA selection committee looks at the full body of work over the course of the season when choosing the tournament's seeds. The committee determined that the Mountaineers had the more impressive season. One large factor that hurt the Cowboys was getting swept by TCU in what feels like a lifetime ago. One could argue that OSU had more impressive wins on the season. The biggest win for the Pokes was toppling the number 2 team in the nation, Baylor, in the Big 12 tournament semifinal. The Mountaineers' most impressive victories were against Texas and Kansas, 2 teams that OSU also defeated. In total, the Cowboys played 18 games this season against teams that made the tournament. OSU won 66% of those matchups. West Virginia had 17 games against tournament opposition and only won 47%. Head coach Mike Boynton said he was taken aback to see his team given the 4th seed.
I was surprised a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to gripe, right? You got to beat good teams if you're going to play in this tournament. I thought we should have been a 3, but it is what it is.
The unfavorable seeding might have been a blessing in disguise. West Virginia had to play red-hot Syracuse in the round of 32 and was defeated 75-72. Meanwhile, the Cowboys have had more favorable matchups despite being the lower seed.
At the end of the day, the Cowboys won't care about what seed they got. This team has already proven it can compete with any team in the nation. And if this team manages to hit its shots, like it did twice against West Virginia, they'll prove who the real 3 seed should have been. I'm just saying.
Sticking with basketball, the Cowgirls are heading to the round of 32 after defeating Wake Forest 84-61 on Sunday. Unlike their male counterparts, the Cowgirls dominated on both sides of the ball the whole game. Junior Natasha Mack was a force to be reckoned with as she led the team with 27 points and 15 rebounds. Guard Jamie Asbury added another 18 points as the Cowgirls punched their ticket to the second round as they face top-seeded Stanford tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Now it goes to say that I can't mention the men's and women's tournaments without talking about the disparity in accommodations. The NCAA rule on Title IX for benefits says there must be an equal treatment of female and male student athletes in the provisions of equipment and supplies, practice and competitive facilities, and medical and training facilities, among many other benefits, which wasn't clearly equal. I know the NCAA has come out to try and correct the issue, but it shouldn't have been an issue to begin with. Whatever you do for the men, do for the women. It's that simple. Now moving away from the basketball court to the wrestling mat, the Cowboy wrestling team placed third in the NCAA championship last weekend. Now we talked about AJ Ferrari's Big 12 championship 2 weeks ago, and the Fierce Cowboy came to play in St. Louis. Ferrari was only one of 2 Cowboys to make their championship matches in their weight class. Dayton Fix lost his match in sudden death, but Ferrari was determined to become one of the top freshmen in the country. Ferrari went up against Pitt's Nino Bonacorsi in the championship match, and the freshman didn't disappoint. He controlled the entire match and accumulated almost 3 minutes of ride time on his way to a 4-2 victory. Ferrari became the 143rd individual champion in program history and only the 3rd true freshman to win a national title. Remember, the Cowgirl basketball team will face top-seeded Stanford tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN. We'll have more on that in next week's edition of News OSU Sports.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of News OSU. I'm Destiny Adams. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you next week.